Hello and welcome back. My name is Marla and today I'm sharing 3 cards using the July box of the month Insect Cuties from the Not Too Shabby shop. I will have all of the products that I've used linked in the description box below if you're on my channel, and the box listed on the Not Too Shabby channel. Here are the products that I'm using. This hexagon set is from Gina Marie Designs. I'm also using the Busy Bee paper pad, and that is what I'm going to highlight today. I am adding some jewels which were part of the July box of the month to this adorable little bee. This bee is part of the Buzzy Bee stamp set, and I did color him up with some, I believe I used Y markers, and I'm adding the gel pen, a black gel pen, to the nose to add a little bit of shine and a little bit of shine to the antenna ends. I have this Nuvo Morning Dew, which is similar to Glossy Accents, and I'm going to add that to the wings, and then I'll add it to the little stinger as well as the body, and then we're going to move on to card number 1. For card number 1, I did use an A2 size top folding card base. I took the second to the smallest of the hexagon dies and I cut out each piece of pattern paper. So I pulled one sheet of each of the patterns, cut one side, flipped it over, and then I used the reverse side as well. I'm going to create a fairly clean and simple card, but I wanted to add some interest, and by adding this dimension, it does add a little bit more interest and it does step the card up a notch. One of the things that I did forget to do is I should have stamped my sentiment first. I thought about not doing a sentiment at all. I've kind of been drawn to not using sentiments on the front of my card, but I decided to stamp one in the end. So once I get this final little hexagon attached, we're going to put it in our MISTI, and I'm going to use one of the stamp sets, one of the sentiment stamps from, I believe it's the Insect Cuties stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it using Versamark Black Onyx ink or Versafine. I get them mixed up all the time. I think it's Versafine Black Onyx ink. I'm using my MISTI. I'm going to make a big mess with this, so I'll stamp it once and feel like the impression's not what I wanted, and then you're going to see me get this ink pad. Do you guys do this? I get my ink pad on my MISTI door. I just tilt it or something. Here I get it really bad. Make sure, especially because I have that dimension on there, that I clean it up in between, because otherwise it will get on my card. I have these bold alphas from Honeybee Stamps. Any alpha would do. I would highly recommend an alpha in your collection of dies. I think that they work great for, especially if you have a lot of pattern paper that you'd like to use. It makes great accent pieces for your card. So you see that I did stamp 2 in white, and then I'm taking the pattern paper and I'm putting it on top. I'll quickly go through this, so I'm going to really speed this up here in just a moment, and we will have the word friends. But I am going to make the same mistake that I made initially, and I'm going to forget to stamp my sentiment before adding a dimension to my card. Sometimes the struggle is real. I initially thought that I was going to use a floral piece of pattern paper, but I ended up changing my mind. So you're going to see that I'm going to have another A2 size card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 right here. I am going to glue this paper, which is the same size, to the front of this card base, but then I'm going to decide that I wanted to change the design, and I'm going to tell you why. I felt like adding the word friends to the pattern paper, it was getting a little bit lost, and I needed something to break it up. So I'm going to bring in some gray cardstock. Right here I have, I think that's a 1 1/2 or 2 inch wide piece of gray cardstock. I'm using that Tim Holtz embossing folder. Isn't that really pretty? It's a 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to glue this 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel that has the the bees all over it. I'm going to leave that 1/4 inch border all the way around, but this is cut to 5 1/2, so it's going to go all the way across. This box did come with the ephemera pieces, and that 1B is from the ephemera. I thought that I'd bring that in. And you can see I used that 3D embossing folder, so now I have some dimension on my card. I intended to stamp the sentiment that says "Let's Be," and B being BEE. And then I'm going to add the word friends. So I am going to add it right here into my MISTI. I'm going to take some Pink Fresh Studio Metropolis ink, and I'm going to mask off with a piece of thin purple tape the word friends, and I'm going to ink this stamp up. It's important to make sure that you do remove that tape. And once I do, I get it a little bit wonky, but not enough that it bothers me. And so I'm going to go ahead and go with it rather than trying to cut a sentiment out. Here I'm adding the word friends to the area that I created with that gray dimension. And I love the way that this is turning out. So once I get these letters down, I'll start with more of my middle pieces, and I'll glue them down using my art glitter glue. If you didn't know, over on the Not Too Shabby Shop channel, each month we do create a playlist for you. So each box of the month will have its own playlist if you're looking for inspiration once you receive your box. So I would encourage you to take a look. We do have a fairly large team, so there should be lots of videos, lots of ideas for you to create with these boxes. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we would love for you to subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified whenever we do upload a video. There is a group called the Scrap-In Stampers over on Facebook. I haven't mentioned this in a while. We encourage you to participate in the monthly challenge. There is always a monthly mood board that will allow you to have a jumping off point for cards, and we encourage you to submit your cards using that mood board for a chance to win a gift card. The hop is still going on over at the Not Too Shabby Shop, so if you use the hashtag on YouTube Insect Cuties, you can still hop along for a chance to win a $25 gift card as well. So there is that panel that I glued that 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch paper to, and I'm going to add another strip of paper going across, and then I took the third smallest hexagon and I cut that out, and then a circle die from my stash, and I'm going to glue that over top. I did cut out the word hi and stacked them the same way that I did with the word friends, and I'm going to put my B right there on that circle. But first I decided that I wanted to make this an action wobbler card. So I have these huge, I mean huge action wobblers. When I first started crafting and I saw action wobblers, I didn't know that no two were created alike, and I ended up ordering these and they were way bigger than what I needed. So I am going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut it down so that it is hidden well behind this little bee. And then that is going to be my third card for today. I will show you at the end of this video all 3 cards, as well as at the end there will be more videos that might be of interest to you if you want to see more of what we're creating. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.